Welcome to a new episode of our weekly web series COVID-19 Science in Context. Recently, the COVID-19 response team published a report on the socio-economic impact of booster vaccinations in Indonesia. I'm Sabine, and joining me today is Dr. Rob Johnson. Rob, what does your report look at?
We were looking at how we can quantify the benefits of booster vaccinations. Benefits of vaccines are often measured by the numbers of lives saved. But during the COVID-19 pandemic, vaccines have additional benefits. They allowed countries to open up earlier, to lift restrictions on businesses and schools. Over 2020 and 21, in many middle and high-income countries, schools were closed for extended periods. Experts think that interrupted and poor quality schooling will damage these economies for years or decades to come. Vaccinations replaced closures as a way of mitigating the pandemic, which was associated with economic gains. Before our study, we had little idea how high the gains of vaccinations during pandemics would be, so we quantified three benefits of vaccines in monetary terms: saved lives, and the economic gains of opening businesses and schools. We then mapped out the optimal pathway of opening schooling and businesses. By comparing pathways with and without booster vaccinations, we could calculate how much vaccines would have been worth in terms of lives, but also in economic gains.
And what did your study find?
In our case study for Indonesia, was that each booster dose was worth about $2,000. We estimated that a rollout program that reached 80% of the population over the course of a year, starting in September 2021, would have been worth $381 billion in lives, the economy, and education. The vaccines themselves are inexpensive by comparison. At $30 per dose, it would have cost $5.6 billion to achieve that gain. This estimate is specific for the country and the time period we considered, and although our analysis predated the Omicron variant, we estimated that the value of booster doses would be similar, because it appears that the effects of booster doses held up much better than the initial vaccine doses in Indonesia. To date, our findings would apply to countries which have consistently tried to maintain control via closure measures and are looking for a safe way out.
And what from your findings stood out?
How big the gain was. We were also surprised to see that the majority of the gain was in education. So we think it's really important to consider things like the value of education that's lost when we trade off costs and benefits in our response to pandemics.